Today we're going on a little trip with the kids.
Yay!
Yay! We're going to the Ecotarium. And Elizabeth needs to go potty. Here we go. The older kids read their books in the car, and the twins watched their favorite TV show and ate snacks. The first thing I did when we got there was put the twins in their stroller. First Bobby, then Kenny. Next, I cleaned their faces with a baby wipe. Then they were ready to go. We walked around to the other side of the car to get the older kids. I opened the door. Elizabeth needed to go to the bathroom. We quickly found a map. Then we went to the bathroom. Matthew and Elizabeth washed their hands at the sink. Then Matthew helped her get paper towels to dry their hands. When we were done, we walked up a path towards the building. Matthew said,
"We're gonna follow this path up there."
I replied, "You lead the way, you and Lizzie, go."
Okay, come on, Elizabeth.
Matthew said as they ran up the hill. I followed the older kids and pushed the stroller to the top of the hill. When we got to the top, we saw a bubble station. They loved the bubbles. Matthew and Elizabeth made a big bubble that surrounded them. The twins played with bubble wands. Bobby tried to blow a big bubble. When we went inside, we saw a big ramp for toy cars. Then the kids held hands and walked down the hall. Matthew found an exhibit and turned a handle. After that, we walked through the fresh water exhibit. Matthew found a big microscope. He moved the plate below, then looked through the top. The kids then saw a big bone. They all touched it as they walked by. Afterwards, they saw a big tank. Next, Elizabeth found some magnifying glasses and looked into another tank. Kenny then found a station that he really liked. He flipped over pictures of insects until every cube was yellow. Bobby spun the dial on a game board. The kids then found an African community exhibit. They looked through the glass at the animals. After that, we took the elevator up to the top floor. 2 of the kids danced in the elevator. Upstairs, they found a wind exhibit. They put paper and plastic items on top and watched them as they blew down the green material. Matthew and Elizabeth found a hurricane simulator. It was loud and very windy. Elizabeth liked it at first. Then she got a little scared. After that, we walked out onto a glass floor exhibit. Matthew and Bobby then found some binoculars. They looked through them together. Then Kenny reached up to a display and tapped on the screen. Next, the twins found a dial that they spun around with one finger. Matthew and Elizabeth also found a dial that they took turns spinning around. Finally, we visited the gift shop. The kids ran inside and looked around. Bobby found a stuffed owl, and Kenny found a toy globe. Then they both found and played with stuffed snakes. After I bought each child a toy, we left the Ecotarium. Matthew pushed a button that opened the doors. We got to the car, and I buckled the twins into their car seats. They played with their new toys and said goodbye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
So we had a good time, but someone always cries when we leave.